Good evening and welcome to the January 13th, 2026 um, meeting of the Gloucester City Council. Let's see, this public meeting of the City Council is recorded on Zoom with a link that is posted on the agenda. If you're calling in on a phone, you can press *9 to request to speak. If you're watching on a computer or device, there's a raised hand button that you can tap or press to request to speak. Please use either of these options during oral communications and public hearings to be recognized to speak. If technical difficulties arise and the Zoom link is interrupted during an in-person hybrid meeting of the City Council and a quorum is present, the meeting may continue after efforts have been made to reestablish the link. The minutes shall note the interruption. It is the finding of the City of Gloucester that no individual should be denied equal treatment or opportunity because of their age, ancestry, color, disability, including intellectual and developmental mental disability, family status, immigration status, gender identity or expression, military status, marital status, national origin, race, religion, sex, or sexual orientation. This evening we have a couple of new counselors. We have Patty Ann Page, Counselor at Large. And we have Hannah Kimberly, Counselor at Large. And then we have Ward 1 Counselor Scott Memart, Counselor at Large Jason Grow. Ward 5 Counselor and Counselor Vice President Sean Nolan. We have Ward 4 Counselor Frank Majota. We have Ward 3 Counselor Marjorie Grace, and we have Ward 2 Counselor Dylan Benson. Also with us this evening, we have Kenny Costa, the auditor. He is on remote. We have our mayor, Paul Lundberg, is with us this evening, and we also have our director of the health department, Dominique Hurley, and we have our city clerk, Grace Poirier. And now we will have a flag salute, and we will do a moment of silence for John Pope afterwards. And I lead this flag salute today. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is the first meeting we've had since the passing of John Pope. He was one of a very understated and highly dynamic contributor to the city of Gloucester. He brought forth, made things happen that were beyond. We can thank him for the Newell Stadium. He worked hard for the 2 new schools. He served on the school committee for many, many years. He also served in many other capacities in this city, and we are forever grateful to John, and your passing is a great loss to us. Thank you. Next order of business, Madam Clerk.
Oral communications.
Public shall have the opportunity of a regularly scheduled meeting to be heard under oral communications on matters not appearing on the agenda. Oral communication shall allow any resident and/or property owner and/or business owner who has a request or complaint of any nature relative to the city business to appear before the council, make their statement without debate, and the city council will refer matters to the office of the mayor. Persons speaking under oral communication shall be limited to 3 minutes each. Is there anyone in the room who would like to speak under oral communications? Please step up to the podium, state your name and address for the record, please. And these are for matters not on the agenda.
Hi,
Hi.
my name is Karen Maslow, and I'm here with my husband, Jake Maslow. We live in Rocky Neck at 11 Ratcliffe Street. I've owned a house for 25 years. Ratcliffe Street is one of Gloucester's many private roads. And the reason we're here tonight is we want to ask the City Council to help move forward in designating a portion of Ratcliffe Street, which the easterly side of this portion, to designate it as a fire lane. The reason we ask is that it's a very narrow street. Parking has been a real problem because this easterly side has never been designated. It's always stayed open. The westerly side has always been designated as a fire lane. It's a very narrow street, as I said. So when people do park, it just makes it a problem for everyone, including safety. We approached Scott a little over a year ago, asking for his help in figuring out how can we get this protected so that everybody can use the street. He brought in, the Code of Ordinance, section 22-152. It clearly authorizes City Council to designate lanes, fire lanes on private ways to ensure at least a 10-foot clear and unobstructed access available at all times. And then in order to get to that point, the fire department needs to get involved and have them do a sweep path analysis. Scott connected the traffic commission, Bob Ryan, in this last summer. And then Bob Ryan got involved with Eric, the fire chief.
A minute.
Okay. So they came, did a site visit. They agreed it was narrow. The fire chief ordered a sweep analysis from the engineering department. They did it. It came back showing that the road is far too narrow to have parking on either side. The fire chief is saying there should be no parking on either side. He told this to Bob Ryan. Bob Ryan passed this on to Scott, but nothing has been happening. Nothing has been happening since, like, I don't know, September, October. And that's why we're here, to ask you guys, because you have the authority to make it.
15 seconds.
Okay. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Can I ask what happens? Like, what's the next step? We've never done this before.
Anyone else in the audience? Is there anyone online? Okay. Next order of business, Madam Clerk.
This is where we'll have a presentation by the mayor.
So this evening, we have a little surprise visit, and hopefully the first of many. And the mayor requested an opportunity to welcome us all. And Mr. Mayor, mic is yours.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much. And I did request to speak to the city council tonight to welcome you to the brand new council, 2026 council, welcome you to your task and to pledge our cooperation and collaboration. I think that having come from the city council myself, I have an extreme appreciation and admiration for what the city council has to do. And you will find that I now, as a mayor, will be a very good partner for you. I was just going to give you a little brief update on what we've been up to since the election and since the inauguration, just to get you up to speed on what we're doing. So obviously, we've had a transition process. I asked Jack Clark to assist me in that. And Jack currently is serving in a temporary role as temporary CAO. All the department heads report directly to me, not through Jack, but Jack's just helping me sort through all the issues. Jack is not a candidate for CAO. He's just doing me a favor as a consulting, on a consulting basis, but as an acting CAO. So what we've done in terms of a transition is we've gone around and we've talked to each department and each department heads, large and small, and for two reasons. One, we wanted to get a really good idea of just what a chief administrative officer does, brings to the table. You know, the position is in the city charter, and it has its very defined role there. But I wanted to get an idea, and I had my own ideas, but it's a good practice to ask the actual users of the service. And you know, having a boss, if that's what the CAO turns out to be, is in many ways a supportive role, a coaching role, not just a person who directs you to what you do. So I wanted to find out from the users, the department heads, just what they saw as being the value of that position. So we got some of that, and we also talked about their individual goals in each department. And so that was kind of like what we've done for the transition. And since I was sworn in on the 1st of January, we've had one managers meeting. We've had all the department heads come. We met right here, and we just had a kind of a little get to know each other seance. And then we will begin our regular program of manager meetings from a management standpoint starting next week. In terms of the CAO and the Director of Communications search process, I want to bring you up to date on that. As you know, Catherine Schlichty was acting as a temporary CAO, and she wanted to return to private life on December 31st, and that's what she did. As you probably have heard, Pam Toby, she had received a job offer as Chief of Staff to the Mayor of Amesbury, and that started on January 1st, so she's off to Amesbury now. And I told her it would be great if she stayed, but she decided that that was a good career move for her, going the next step up in the management ladder there. So having been informed by our transition interviews with the department heads, I revised the job description for the CAO slightly. I completely rewrote the job description for the Director of Communication. Both of those jobs have been posted. We received quite a very robust response. We had over 40 resumes for CAO and about 30 for the Director of Communications. A committee of myself and Holly Dogwillow and Suzanne Egan, we went through all of them, sorted them down, and we came down to about 6 CAO candidates that we wanted to interview and 5 candidates for the Director of Communications. We're doing those interviews this week. We've already met with a bunch of CAO candidates, and we will complete that work this week. Hopefully, at the end of this week, we'll have a clear idea of whether we have a qualified candidate in that batch. I'm pretty sure we do. And then we will then go to the next phase of whether we winnow it down to a couple of finalists or whether we have a clear winner or what we haven't got there yet. But we will by Friday, we will be at that point. So we're moving as quickly as we can on those particular jobs, and I'm confident that we will be able to fill out the mayor's team, because right now the mayor's team is Melissa Gillis and myself and Jack Clark. And we're having a good time down there, and anybody wants to stop by, please feel free. As I mentioned during the campaign and also during my inaugural speech, I have 3 goals that I'm going to try and form as, articulate as, in addition to the goal of being, quote, the city manager, goals of things that we can do together to make our city better. Obviously, educational excellence is one of them. The mayor is a member of the school committee in accordance with the charter. I know that you and the school committee do your business separately, but at the end of the day, we're all on the same team, and we're going to find ways to do that together because that's the most effective way to do it. And educational excellence, I think that My observation, and I won't speak for anybody else, is that we can do a better job in the Gloucester Public Schools in terms of instruction and education. We have a great team. We have a really robust and a committed team, and I think together we can find a way to make the outcome better, because our goal is the graduates of Gloucester High School are competitive in the world, whether they go on to college, whether they go to vocational career path or whatever. So that's going to be one of my goals. The second is housing. We talked about that. Housing, the prices of housing in Gloucester are starting to squeeze out a lot of our constituents, families with young children, city workers, healthcare workers, people, who just are starting not to be able to afford to live here anymore. And that can change the character of our community. So we're going to be working on that. What can we do? I'm going to be asking the planning board and the city council to work with me to see if there's any of the proposed zoning changes from the housing production plan a couple of years ago that failed at the city council, whether there's any value there to revisiting those. We'll start there. That's an easy place to start, but we're going to continue to work on how we make housing more affordable in Gloucester. And then the third thing is our finances. We share that goal together. We share that responsibility together, the council and the mayor. When we start putting together the budget, I'm going to want to have a lot of input from the council, not just when I actually physically or officially present the budget in May, and then it goes to budget and finance, and you have your hearings and all that sort of thing. Even before we get to that point, I'll be wanting to consult with you as we balance the revenues with the kind of services that we all need and want to deliver to our citizens. So those are the outline of things I want to do. And the final thing I will say, and I just basically said it, is our relationship. I really believe that, we all have our roles in accordance with the ordinance and the charter, and they're pretty well set forth. But I think that together we can do a lot cooperatively, and it is my goal to make sure that we do this as a team. And I have an open door, and that's really I really mean that. We should, Tony and Sean are going to continue their regular course of meeting with the mayor every 2 weeks and going over the issues that that we share legislatively. But anybody else who wants to stop by and have a chat, please feel free to. We're there. So with that, I will wish you all good luck. I know what you're about to begin here, and it's daunting. You have to do your homework, but if you do, it can really make a difference to our city. So thank you. This is perfect for our city. So here on the podium are the notes from the speakers from the inauguration. There's Senator Tarr's notes and some other people's notes. So I'm going to take these with me and bring them. If anybody's looking for notes from the inauguration, they'll be in the mayor's office.
Maybe you should talk to the janitorial staff about that.
Thank you very much. Next order of business, Madam Clerk.
Consent agenda.
Would anybody like to pull anything off the consent agenda? I would like to pull a couple of matters off the consent agenda. I'd like to pull item number 8, memorandum from Economic Development Coordinator requesting acceptance of Mass Development 2026 and MDI 2026 grants in the amount of $80,000. Oh, we have it on the next. And I'd also like to pull off number 11, memorandum from the mayor regarding early termination of the wind turbine power purchase agreement at 11 Dory Road. Anyone else like to pull anything off? All right. To entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda as amended.
So move. Second.
Motion made by Councilor Groves, seconded by Councilor Nolan. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, 9-0. The memorandum for economic development from the economic development coordinator requesting acceptance of the two mass development grants are going back to the mayor's office for further review. And the memorandum from the mayor regarding early termination of the wind turbines. I just think the audience and the general public need to know that this is in response to Applied Materials buying the old Gloucester engineering property where those turbines are located. Those turbines are not the property of the city of Gloucester. They are on now Applied Materials property, and as anyone can see, they are getting aged. One is leaking oil. They are in need of either a total rehab but we are terminating that wind turbine agreement because Applied Materials has other plans for that property for an expansion, I believe, is what their future lies there, which is good for Gloucester to keep Applied Materials a very important employer here. They're a worldwide chip manufacturing company, and they are going to give us 3 years worth of payments of what our savings were on electricity. And that's that. So I don't think we need to vote on either of those. They're both just,
You said payments, if that's okay. 3, where will that funding go to? Is it
general
fund? Okay.
general fund, I believe.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
Again, that's up to the mayor's office, but that's where I would think it would go. I don't think we need to vote on either of those, do we? All right, so we have to vote to send number 8 back to the mayor's office. Motion?
Yeah, I thought I heard. Say something. Motion to send number 8 back to the mayor's office for review.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Gross, seconded by Councilor Nolan. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, 9-0. So next order of business, Madam Clerk.
January 8th, 2026, Budget and Finance Standing Committee Report.
Councilor Memard.
Thank you. Just for the information of our new counselors, if we do have full agendas, particularly later in the year, we sometimes abbreviate the budget and finance report to a consent agenda and just summarize those matters. But since we have two new appointees here, two new counselors, I'm going to go through it in full detail, and that gives people a chance to have any questions and weigh in. Budget and finance with Councilors Gross and Page met Thursday, as usual, in the City Council conference room. We meet at 5:30, and we had a number of items that we voted upon, which we will now present for your consideration. So the first item was a memorandum from the Director of Public Works, Mike Hale, requesting our acceptance of a donation from the Carroll Steel Insurance Company towards the maintenance of Langsford Street Cemetery. This is in the amount of $500. I'll read the motion and then we can have any discussion. Budget and Finance on a motion by Councilor Memhard, seconded by Councilor Page. Budget and Finance Committee voted 3 in favor, 0 opposed, to recommend the City Council accept a cash donation under Mass General Law 4453A to support the Department of Public Works Cemetery Commission for the maintenance of the Langsford Street Cemetery in the amount of $500 from the following business partner within our community, who is the Carroll K. Steel Insurance Agency, in the amount of $500. This is something that they've done in the past as well, and I so move.
Motion made by Councilor Memard, seconded by Councilor Grow. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, 9-0.
Item number 2 on our Budget and Finance agenda was a memorandum from the Director of Elder Services, Elise Sinagra, requesting our acceptance of the state formula grant in the amount of $164,320. I would comment that this is a $1 increase. $1 increase over the prior allocation from the state formula grant. So Elise and her staff are thrilled by that. So again, I'll read the committee recommendation. On a motion by Councilor Memhard, seconded by Councilor Page, Budget and Finance Committee voted 3 in favor, 0 opposed, to recommend that the City Council accept under Mass General Law 4453A a Massachusetts State Fiscal Year 2026 Council on Aging Formula Grant allocation from the Massachusetts Executive Office of Elder Affairs in the amount of $164,320. There is no local match for this grant. The grant period is from July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026, and I so move.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Memard, seconded by Counselor Page. Discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, 9-0.
Item number 3 on the budget agenda from last week is a memorandum from the mayor requesting our acceptance of grant funds from the Gloucester Fund to support the Community Impact Unit in the amount of $245,970.46. Committee recommendation on a motion by myself, seconded by Councilor Page. Budget and Finance Committee voted 3 in favor, 0 opposed, to recommend that the City Council accept cash donations under Mass General Law, Chapter 4453A, various donations from members from the community through the Gloucester Fund. These have accumulated since 2020, and the total amount is $245,970.46. And this is to support the Police Department and Community Impact Unit, or CIU, programs and activities, and I so move.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Memard, seconded by Counselor Page. Counselor Grow.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Can
I
I
was
ask for a
hoping,
discussion first?
what's that?
Discussion.
Yeah,
Counselor
I
Grow.
was raising my hand. He's the one that called you. Yeah, thank you for that. And I appreciate this.
Suzanne Egan is on.
Yeah, I
Here.
wanted to know if we could ask Suzanne Egan to give us a little history of how this happened, what it means, what the usual procedures of donations to the city for city programs are, and what remedies are being made to make sure that this doesn't happen in the future.
Did you get that question, Suzanne?
Yes, I did. Thank you. So I'm happy to address this issue. So if the council recalls, back in 2020, when the Community Impact Unit, I believe, was first formed, the Mayor Romeo Taken at the time and Chief of Police Ed Conley had a press release, and they said that we have this CIU unit, and anybody who would like to make a donation into support of the CIU unit can make that donation to the Gloucester Fund, and then that will then be donated to the city of Gloucester and used for the CIU. So from 2020 until to date, money has been donated to the CIU unit using the Gloucester Fund as a recipient. And at this point, we've asked the Gloucester Fund to disperse all of that money that is being held for the CIU unit and donate it to the city of Gloucester so that the city council may accept that through the proper process. And at this point also, what we will be doing is the Gloucester Fund will no longer be used as as sort of as donor services, but that any money that is going to be donated to the CIU unit will come to the city of Gloucester and be referred to the city council for acceptance.
Thank you. That's the normal course of events for anything that's donated to the city, right? We do that on a regular
Exactly.
basis. Is there any of this money, was any of this money grant money that was received through the grant process? And if so, why was that not redirected through the city council?
Most of them, we've had a very good accounting from the Gloucester Fund, and they have provided the revenue and the expenses to the city. And most of the money has come from private donations. There have been some grant donations through the years, and that has been typically what happened was, and I think this was because the way this was originally designed, the grant was applied for the CIU, and that money would go to the Gloucester Fund, and they would be holding that money. In that, we're placing a different policy and process is in place currently.
Thank you.
Counselor Nolan.
Suzanne, I just want to reiterate that there's no wrongdoing with the Gloucester Fund. The records have been kept 100%, and I don't want to make them look like they're the bad guy. I just think that we have a better way of doing this, and this is the best way to keep our checks and balances. But in your opinion, the Gloucester Fund has done everything legally and above the law and has been a great partner in the city on this. Is that correct?
So I would say that they have been a great partner, and their records that they have provided, they provided their accountant provided us with a report, and the reporting and recording is absolutely to the T, and they have been, and we can expect to receive more money from the Gloucester Fund because this is for a certain number of years, and then there are 2 additional years where we'll receive additional grant funds, but not forward, not money that came in forward, but it was the last 2 years.
Excellent. Thank you, Suzanne.
Yes.
Any other questions for the city solicitor? Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, 9-0.
Also from Budget and Finance, we did have a memorandum from the General Counsel with recommendations regarding the Department of Public Works and Gloucester's regulations for charging electric vehicles. And this matter is going to be referred both to ONA, back to BNF again. ONA will be taking up the matter on February 2nd and presented to the full City Council for a vote on February 10th. And then I would also like to report to you that the Budget and Finance Committee began its review of the Community Preservation Act program funds allocations for this current community preservation year. We reviewed and approved 4 applications, and we'll be doing so again at the next meeting, and then again at the meeting following that. And subsequently, all 12 or all of the projects will come before us for your consideration and approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Memard. Next order of business, Madam Clerk.
January 5th, 2026, ordinances and administration meeting.
There is no items under this heading. Thank you.
Next order of business, Madam Clerk.
The January 7th, 2026, planning and development standing committee report.
Councilor Grow.
Thank you very much. We have one item on the consent agenda, not consent agenda, on the subcommittee agenda. This, we just found out that poll petitions, which we have previously held public hearings within the subcommittee, still needs to be voted on by the full city council. So you all get to hear what we get to do. We have a poll petition by National Grid to install 1 joint-owned pole on Commercial Street beginning at a point approximately 252 feet southeast of the center line of the intersection of Beach Court and Commercial Street. The proposed installation of 1 joint-owned pole number 5176 at 52 Commercial Street, Gloucester, Massachusetts. And the committee recommendation was on a motion of Councilor Gross, seconded by Councilor Kimberly. Planning and Development Committee voted by roll call, 3 in favor, 0 opposed, to recommend that the City Council permit Mass Electric Company and DBA, National Grid, and Verizon New England Incorporated to locate poles, wires, and fixtures, including the necessary sustaining and protecting fixtures along and across the public way, and install 1 joint-owned pole on Commercial Street beginning at a point approximately 252 feet southeast of the center line of the intersection of Beach Court and Commercial Street. The proposed installation of 1 joint-owned pole number 5176 at 52 Commercial Street. Also for permission to lay and maintain underground laterals, cables, and wires in the above or intersecting public ways for the purpose of making connections with such poles and buildings as each of said petitioners may desire for distribution purposes in Gloucester, Massachusetts, as shown on a plan included in the application dated September 2nd, 2025, with the following conditions. Number 1, notification to the Department of Public Works 72 hours in advance of the proposed work. A construction schedule will be prepared by the applicant for review and acceptance by the Department of Public Works. 2, proposed excavation may only occur during accepted road opening and construction season, 15th of March through 15th of November. Number 3, in the absence of a detailed construction plan, the Department of Public Works requests that all proposed conduits and appurtenances shall be placed so as to cause minimum conflict with existing underground utility services. 4, all excavations must be secured at all times. 5, all excavated trenches shall be patched flush with the surrounding asphalt using hot mixed asphalt binder at the end of each workday to minimize pedestrian hazards. Asphalt will be applied in 2 lifts of 2 inches, totaling 4 inches. Number 6, sidewalks must be restored with like material immediately after the poles set. And 7, all final paving shall be done in consultation with the Department of Public Works and an agreed upon final paving plan executed by the applicant, and I so move.
Second.
Which made by Counselor Gross, seconded by Counselor Kimberly. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Counselor Grace, sorry. Sorry, Counselor Grace. I was
She's in my seat.
distracted.
There's nothing really to say about this. It's a typical poll petition. They did say that it'd probably be done 6 to 8 hours once they get the work done.
And these used to until the city clerk discovered that it's property of the city council, so it needs to come to city council.
That's right. Yeah, you don't have to do the public hearing. We still do that.
Yeah.
in subcommittee.
Okay. Any more discussion? Counselor Page.
Yes, I would like to know, this is a commercial area. Is there going to be any road closures? And could I make the request that all businesses in that area are notified at least 48 hours before the work is scheduled? Thank you.
I think that's a standard operating procedure for them anyway, but we'll make sure that they're aware of it.
I'm not sure about that, not, at least with National Grid, it is difficult, maybe public work. Was there any talk of road closure there for any? Thank you.
Only,
That was a question I asked at the last meeting, and there's no road closure.
so that,
Very limited based on what they said, very limited.
They also
disruption
did
to the
say
businesses.
that there shouldn't be any disruption of service.
Yep.
They said there would be no disruption of
Oh.
service.
Fair- Thank you.
so are you okay with that, that there's no road closure or disruption of service? So no
fine,
notification
thank you.
needed? Okay. All right. So no notification needed because there's no road closure or disruption
Right,
of
there's
service.
no
Okay.
disruption to service
All right, great, yeah.
in theory.
And I think, so that's a
Remember-
question to remember to ask at O&A every time.
We'll do it at P&D.
Yeah, I mean, P&D, that's what I meant, P&D, sorry.
Well, they did.
New year. Yeah. Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it, 9-0. Next order of business, Madam Clerk.
Public hearing 2025, number 50, Council Order 25, number 41, Worthley, amend GCO Chapter 5, Buildings and Building Regulations by adding a new Article 6, demolition delay.
I'm going to open the public hearing, and it will be continued till February 10th, 2026. Next order of business.
Public hearing 2025, number 54, SCP 2025, number 8, New Way Lane, number 50, GZO Sections 1.5, General Procedures relating to appeals, variances, and special permits, 1.8, Use Table Special Permits, 2.3.2, Community Services Uses, 3, Personal Wireless Service Facility, and 5.13, Wireless Communications Facilities to permit a wireless communication facility in the R30 district.
So this is already opened, correct? Says continued from 10-9. Okay. So I will open the public hearing. And anyone to speak in favor?
Hear me now?
Yes.
Ooh, wrong company. Hi, my name is Ed Parry. I'm an attorney at Brown Rudnick. And if you bear with me 1 second, I have to reconnect here so I can share my screen. My apologies. I seem to have lost my connection. I'll get it back. I think I'm out of the Zoom. Do you want to see the presentation up on Zoom, or I can walk through the presentation? I have a hard copy. It is. The public can't see it. If you give me, I can get logged in again. We did test this earlier. No, I'm there.
You are. There you are.
Yep. Here we. Now I have my stuff. How's that? Good. Let me introduce myself again. Ed Parry. I'm an attorney at Brown Rudnick. I'm here representing SBA and AT&T. What we're proposing to do is to relocate an existing tower. It's located at 50 New Way Lane in Gloucester. Back in 2005, the City Council approved the existing tower that's there. The tower was not designed for all of the equipment and co-location that's required from each of the carriers in the modern day, moving the equipment up closer to the antennas. So we began a discussion with the city about relocating and extending the height of the tower. Just to explain who the players are, SBA owns the tower and manages it. AT&T is the co-applicant, and they are an FCC provider of wireless communication services. I'll skip all the others who I hope are online if there are any particular questions. This is the site plan. New Way Lane, if my cursor is moving, is here. The tower is set back quite a ways. It's up on a hill at the kind of the back parcel of the Barletta property. And I'll just scroll through some of these to give you a sense of where things are and what we're doing. Oop. So this is the existing compound. The compound, as I refer to it, is enclosed by a fence. There's a lock gate so people can't get in. On the top of the fence, it's barbed wire, and I think the members of the Planning Development Committee who attended the site visit saw that it was secured. In the center of the compound here, there's a small circle. That's the existing monopole tower. What we're proposing to do is to remove that tower and actually put a beefier monopole about 18 feet north-northwest, which is the larger circle there. So we're able to maintain coverage while we're doing the construction work and the replacement. And we can then install the new monopole. And fortunately, we're able to add AT&T in this instance. AT&T is not located on the existing pole. Right now it's Verizon, T-Mobile, and Dish. So there are 3 carriers. The tower is maxed out. So this will provide for improved co-location opportunities. As we began discussing the project with the city, we had some conversations with Fire Chief Smith. As you may know, the city of Gloucester is a FirstNet subscriber. AT&T provides the FirstNet service on their network. It's a preemptory service for our first responders. So if the network gets busy because of some calamity, some disaster, then the commercial traffic gets pushed off and our first responders have the ability to use AT&T's network. In discussing the site with the fire chief and others in the city, it was determined that there's a significant need for coverage for public safety. So what SBA agreed to do as kind of a public-private partnership was to pay to have the tower extended above what SBA needs. So we added 20 feet to the top per the request of the fire chief and the communications folks. So that top additional 20 feet will be designated for public safety uses for the city of Gloucester. They also requested, and I think they use this for redundancy, some microwave dishes. You'll see where my little cursor's moving. Those where the microwave dishes will be installed. I don't know if all of the equipment will be installed immediately, but it'll be reserved space for the city. SBA will not be charging any rent. Likewise, we're providing ground space in our secured compound for the city's electronic equipment that is necessary. I thought I'd show everybody just a picture of what's existing there now. This is the tower. You'll see Verizon's at the top, T-Mobile second spot, kind of these levels on the pole. So this is at about 76 feet. We'll be going up for the city's purposes to 145. So it's about a 68-foot increase in height. The pole will be, as I said, to the north, so it'll be towards the gate, and then the AT&T equipment will be on the backside. What's interesting about this property and why it works so nicely is the green outlined is the parcel. We have access out to New Way Lane, and the tower is located right up in this area here. These two parcels are actually owned by the city of Gloucester, so we don't have really any abutter issues. It's open space, undeveloped property owned by the city. I'm not going to run through all of these. They were in your packet. We do comply with the FCC requirements. With respect to emissions, we're at 22.86 of the maximum, which is 100%. And that's already has safety factors built in by the FCC. That includes all 4 of the carriers that could be on the pole and the city's equipment. Just to quickly run through AT&T's network, this is AT&T's existing sites in the areas. You'll see they all kind of come centered to our proposed location, which is in the middle here. So you can see AT&T just doesn't have much coverage in this area of Gloucester, and as you'll see, they're having even issues on 128. This is an existing coverage map for AT&T. I like to say green is good. That's what they strive to achieve. Green would be in building coverage. That's the highest level that AT&T tries to achieve for its customers. The orange that you see is a lower level of service. We call it kind of in vehicle coverage, so that if you're on a roadway, you're in a vehicle, or if you're in an open area, you should be able to get coverage, but it won't necessarily penetrate buildings and structures. The blue star is where the proposed tower is to be located if it's approved. So you'll see there's lots of white around the blue star here where AT&T has no coverage. The next slide will show you what it looks like with the new location. You'll see we pick up 128 in green. All of the green here is additional coverage. So it's really a robust site for AT&T utilizing an existing facility, basically. We did provide some statistics for the additional coverage that AT&T will achieve. That's in your radio frequency report. As we went through the planning and development process, Planning and Development Committee asked us to do a crane test, which we conducted on the 22nd of November. And what this is some slides of some of the highlights of those results. Basically, we put a crane, it was about 49 feet from where the actual tower would be located. For those who attended the site visit, there were some power lines. We couldn't get the crane exactly in location, but as we go through, we did make adjustments when we did our photo simulations to shift the tower over that 49 feet just to be on target. So this yellow circle is a 1 mile radius. In the center, where you see the little yellow star, is the location of the tower. And what these little dots represent, when we put the crane up, we had a technician drive around all of the public ways to determine whether it would be visible. The red dots, there is no visibility. The yellow dots mean there's some visibility. It may be obstructed. And when I run through a couple of these, you'll see what I mean there. And then we have two locations, location 8 and location 12, and I'll highlight those in a second, where we'll have some visibility, but I think you'll see it's pretty minimal. I'm going to run through these quick and hopefully not make anybody nauseous. This is the location, the photo from location 2. As you see with the red arrow, we had to identify where the crane's located. As I mentioned, the tower's going to be shifted about 50 feet from where the crane was. So you're going to see it, the pole actually shifts behind that tree to just to the right of that tree in this area here. If you look closely, you can see that there's the monopole superimposed there. So that's what I mean by obstructed view. People are going to be looking through trees and not really see the tower straight on. This is one of the views that'll be year round. As you see, here's the crane. This is down New Way Lane. We're about 0.36 miles away from the location. And then we'll superimpose the pole. And that's the pole, the monopole digitized in based on the location of the crane. Next is, there was a shot on Essex where we'll get visibility. You can see the crane just peeking up above the tree here. And when we reset for the pole, you'll see it's pretty minimally visible, and mostly it's really the visibility for the town equipment up on the top 20 feet. Photo 14 is on Magnolia. Now we're almost 0.6 of a mile away. You can see just the top of the crane there with the red arrow, and then the pole superimposed. So we think this is a great location for a replacement site. We know that it's a bit higher, but it facilitates both public safety, increase the FirstNet service. It'll give Verizon and T-Mobile an opportunity to upgrade their facilities to be more robust. AT&T did provide a radio frequency report that they really need 125 feet. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. I do this in the interest of brevity since we've been through a process, but I do have a number of people on the line. Everybody doesn't have to speak, but if there's a particular question I can't answer, I'll certainly ask them to join. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak in favor? Chief Smith is on. Chief.
Hi, good evening, Council. Yeah, just weighing in on this along with Ed. We've worked with him on this for quite some time now as they developed it, and they've definitely stepped up to increase the pole to where it would function for public safety in an area that we really do need. At least from the fire department. Police may join in at some point, but for the fire department, we do not have a radio tower in that area, and we have significant issues in the West Gloucester area, up Essex Ave to the border, with Essex. So this will be a big improvement in our radio system, and that AT&T is going to be at the top of this pole. They are also our cellular provider for all of our emergency services equipment, all of the cell phones that are on our trucks, as well as the modems that are in the trucks to run, everything. Everything's tied into the internet nowadays. So that will enhance our operations greatly. We think that the visibility issue is pretty minimal, and obviously the impact to the neighborhood it appears to be minimal. And we had some of the folks that live right next door at one of the meetings, and they seem to be pretty amenable to it. So short of anybody being in the audience that had a significant objection, every meeting that I've been at, most everybody seems favorable towards this, and certainly from the public safety perspective, I think it makes a big improvement. I think there's still some more improvement to be made over on that side, more closer to the Essex border, but this is certainly a step in the right direction.
Thank you, Chief. Anyone else would like to speak in favor? Anyone like to speak in opposition? Do we have any communications?
Just one communication from the fire chief in favor of this.
And he just spoke to us. Okay. Okay, Mr. Timmons, we'll bring you in. Oh. Hand up, hand down. Hand down. So, okay, up, hands up. Hey, Mr. Timmons. Name and address for the record, please.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. Not necessarily in opposition. I just had questions about.
Name and address for the.
Oh, sure. David
the record.
Simmons, 48 New Way Lane.
Thank you.
And I just had questions. If the project goes forward, I'm curious about what the timeline for the project would be, approximate dates. And given that, New Way Lane and then the private road that we live on and that you have to access the tower on, it's a 1-lane road. It's narrow. I just want to know, would residents like us be notified of, what the construction schedule is going to be if there's a lot of vehicle traffic that's going to be in the road? Because that can be, impactful just given the nature of the road. Would that be communicated if and when the project gets started? Thank you.
Thank you. We will definitely ask that question for you. Thank you. Anyone else? All right, now we're questions from counselors to the applicant. I think we can start with Counselor Nolan.
So Ed, I'll start with that first one, Ed, about notification to the neighbors. That is my ward. I feel confident that you guys will work closely with them. If you could reassure that you'll let them be notified when you're going to be going in. Traffic isn't going to be probably that big of a deal, except when you actually go on the trains, which was the same thing that happened during the site visit. But if you could make Ed feel better, David, sorry, and you're Ed, and answer that question for us.
Sure. So, yeah, we have no problem with notice. As I explained to Mr. Timmons during the site visit, there was some concern about damaging the road. We understand it's a private drive. We'll make any repairs to any damage. We have no problem notifying abutters. It would be easiest if we could get some email addresses. That's the easiest way. So, I can mark it in my calendar. But we can do a mailing before construction starts. As you saw, it is a tight road, but we were able to get that large crane up there. The traffic's not going to be overly significant. It'll be cement trucks, crane, excavator, both to install and remove the old. So, but to the specific question, we're happy to notify. If we can place that as a condition, we'll make sure that we can get those notices out. Again, if folks could share their email addresses, we'd be happy to email them. That's the easiest way for us, but we'll do a mailing if required.
Yep. Just no follow-up. It's not always easy for us to get email addresses for everybody. We have some. So I wouldn't mind making a condition that you actually go through your butters list and send a letter to each person, letting them know when it's going to happen.
We'll do. We're not a problem at all.
Questions? Councilor Grow.
Not so much a question, but in the vein of reassurance, AT&T and SBA have agreed to pay for or install the emergency equipment part of the process, as long as we have the materials, the equipment in place at the time of construction.
Yeah, correct. Part of our discussion with the fire chief was to save the city as much money as possible, since we're spending anyway. So what we've said is, as long as the city's equipment is there and available, they can use our crane, our folks, to do the attachment, do the installation, pull the cables. As you saw when you did the site visit, there's a lot that goes into getting the wires up to the antennas down inside the pole. The chief communicates with me very frequently. I'm sure he'll continue to do so. And so we will fully coordinate that. We have agreed, AT&T has agreed as part of the condition with P&D to upsize their generator to provide backup power. The chief is a very persuasive guy. One little, since the chief spoke, I was going to bring this up at the end. We're working on a license agreement as required by the conditions. As part of that, we had discussions with the chief and the city solicitor about deferring some expense for the city. SBA is not a wireless carrier, so we don't actually have, operating equipment there, which is what the chief is looking to do. So SBA has agreed to contribute through our license agreement $10,000 to defray fiber, electrician costs and installation costs, that sort of stuff. So that's being built into the written decision that we're working on with Suzanne and the fire chief. So I do think it's really a win-win for everyone, and I think the tower is pretty well hidden from a visibility perspective. So.
I'm not seeing some things in these conditions that are here. I'm not seeing where I saw it in the packet, but I'm not seeing it in these conditions where you are installing the equipment, the city equipment, unless I missed it.
Yeah, we'll install it as long as the city has it there.
I
That
understand that, but it's not in the condition. So that's sort of a handshake deal right now, correct?
Yeah, I don't have the conditions with me from P&D. Are
We
they?
have them right in front of us. Oh, he's got one. Oh,
No, I have it's attached to my agenda. I think we put that in our letter to you. We have no problem with the condition of.
And then you also, I think in that letter also had the repair, any damage to the road was also in there, was in that letter, I believe. So I think, and then, so it was also the upsizing of the generator was also in that. That's number 3. Okay, yep. That's number 3. Number 7, where's number 7? So the generator is there.
If you look at number 11 of my letter, I don't know how you want to incorporate this into the decision, but in my letter to P&D dated November 25. In my letter to P&D dated November 25, we do have the city's installation.
Right, yeah.
Those can be incorporated into conditions. I have no issue with that. We've committed to do that.
November 25 letter.
November 25, it's from me to Planning and Development Committee. Your docket must be like 500 pages because of me for the most part.
400.
Sorry.
I have 75. I must have more than you. So where is the letter?
Could I introduce the letter? I have a copy if you'd like. You want me to, would you like a copy of the
Yeah,
letter?
because then we can make the motion right off of that. So make the language consistent.
Items 11 and 12.
November. And then also that. Very good. Okay, you want to take care of that? Oh, yeah, when we do the amendments, yeah. Right, we still have, any more questions?
Did we agree to, because you weren't,
Well, we'll do that after we close the
Okay, yeah.
public hearing. It's the the road, the abutter notice, and the number 11, which was installation of equipment. I started to write a motion on it. All right. And then I forgot what it was. Anyway, okay, I am going to close the public hearing if we have no more questions.
Thank you very much.
Please read the motion.
It's a long one. I got it. On a motion by Councilor Gilman, seconded by Councilor Benson. Make sure I'm on the right one here. Planning and Development Committee voted by roll call, 3 in favor, 0 opposed, to recommend the City Council to grant a special permit for a wireless communications facility pursuant to sections 2.3.2 Community Services Uses, number 3, and section 5.13, 1.5, and 1.8 of the City of Gloucester zoning ordinance, and to the extent necessary, grant approval pursuant to the Federal Telecommunications Act of 1996 for the construction, operation, and maintenance of the facility as shown on and in conformance with the plans entitled SBA Barletta Site ID MA 46690-A, 50 New Way Lane, Gloucester. Project type 145-foot monopole construction drawings dated October 10th, 2025. An application of SBA 2012 TC Assets LLC and New Singular Wireless PCS LLC filed on October 21st, 2025 with the following conditions. Number 1, prior to the issuance of a certificate of completion and within 4 months of the installation of the 145-foot tower and operation of the Verizon T-Mobile antennas, the existing 76-foot above-ground monopole tower is removed from the site. 2, prior to the issuance of a building permit and upon mutually agreeable terms, SBA and the City of Gloucester shall enter into a co-location license agreement for use of a portion of the site as depicted on sheet C-2 of the plans, including but not limited to the top 20 feet of the tower, ground space, access roads, equipment storage space, location of the fiber, and other necessary space for nominal consideration. Excuse me. Number 3, AT&T shall provide the City of Gloucester connection to its generator for use as a FirstNet provider. The generator shall be properly sized for the city's FirstNet provider use at the time of installation. 4, the owner and or operator of the facility shall have insurance coverage for the facility which insures against personal injury and property damage and shall defend the city against any and all claims incurred by or asserted against the city related in any way to the facility. 5, the facility shall be constructed, operated, and maintained in compliance with all applicable local, state, and federal laws and regulations. Number 6, the site shall be monitored 24 hours a day, 365 days a year through the AT&T Network Operations Center. Do you want me to add the amendments now? And add 7 and 8? We should, I so move.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Discussion.
I'd like to add a couple of amendment conditions. Amend it to add a couple of conditions. Let's put it that way. Okay.
Yep.
Add number 7. We'll start with applicant has agreed to and will be responsible for assisting the city in the installation of its emergency medical equipment, provided that the city equipment is available at the time of construction of the tower. Is that acceptable language? Number 8, the applicant will alert residents and abutters of the installation timeline and beginning of the installation and construction. How many hours? 72 a week? A week before? 1 week before via mail. And the final one is, applicant will be responsible for maintaining and repairing any damage to the road due to the construction and construction vehicles along the access to the site. And that's it. Second. So move those amendments.
Motion,
Yep.
the amendment, motion made by Councilor Gross, seconded by Councilor Nolan. This vote will be solely on the amendments. not on the main motion. So any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, 9-0. Now back to the main motion. So main motion's been moved and seconded. It will be voted on as amended. Correct? Yeah. Yes, we can have discussion again.
Just one-
Sure. Yep.
I just want to, I want to commend the applicant for clarity and transparency on this project. I know that's what he does, so he better be good at it. But he was very willing to meet with the neighbors and I think allayed some of their concerns. It's obviously going to be an important addition to our emergency coverage, and the fact that the chief is so in favor of it leads me to believe it's a good thing. I think we're in pretty good situation. It will be seen. I don't want people to think it's going to be invisible from a distance. You will see this, but I think the impact is going to be minimal. So I will be supporting this.
Councilor Nolan.
So I did have the privilege to go on the site visit, and I've been up there before when the pole was first built. The crane went through, obviously added procedures to make it longer, to make it work with the restrictions we had. I did drive around all of the area that I thought I could find the crane and see what's going on. The number one place that I did see it was from 128 heading down the Pioneer Bridge. I could see the crane. One of the pictures that you guys showed that you said from Essex Avenue was actually from Paws Lane, which is leaving the Cape Ann Animal Aid in a driveway. And you could see it from there. When you approach from Essex Avenue, from Essex, you could see it a little bit from Woodman Street, and you could see a little bit from Magnolia Avenue down by Safathia's house. It's not really something that you're going to see easily. You have to look for it. I live at the base of the two biggest cell towers in Gloucester. I don't notice them. The only time I noticed them was driving on the highway. I'm like, hey, there's my house. You know what I mean? The coverage that this is going to do is essential for the city of Gloucester, not just for the fire department, but for my constituents. We have analog lines that fail a lot during the winter. The trees come down, they hit a telephone line. They have no cell phone coverage at their homes through all of Concord Street, Atlantic Street, Lincoln Street, Sumner Street, and Essex Avenue. And this is something that they've been looking for a long time. And we did have a solution for it 10 years ago when I first got on, working with AT&T over at Carrie Frickland's place. And it failed. And I think the difference is in the 10 years is that people have learned that technology and having the ease of a cell phone versus an analog home phone, it's not only just a convenience, but it's safety. You know, you get a bad storm, a tree falls down, a branch falls, you have no cell coverage. My constituents can't call 911. They can't, run out on the street and yell. It's a wooded area. They're looking for help. This is not only a safety for the city, but for each person that lives in the umbrella of the dead zone. And by adding AT&T and TD, well, you have Sprint and TD or T-Mobile and stuff, it's going to make it better for everybody. And a month into it, most people won't even notice that tower's there, if they even see it to begin with. So I will be supporting this tonight. And Ed, thank you for bringing this forward.
Anyone else?
Well, just a quick question. If we're getting technical, it says monitor 24 hours, 365 days a year. If when we have a leap year, should we do something for 366, or is that just part of it? Lawyers can be technical. I don't know. That one day that something were to happen, we're not covered.
I think we're pretty
fine.
I think it's, yeah,
All right. I just want to make sure.
I think that's fine. Thank you.
Little.
Councilor Grace.
I just want to thank you for adding the element in for first responders. I think that is extraordinary for the city, and any glimpse that anyone might have of the cell tower pales in comparison with the amount of safety and our connection to the world. We are ingrained with the internet now, and and to have people to be able to access it easily. And I really hope it gets rid of the dead zone in Manchester. Thank you.
Okay. More questions?
Unless Councilwoman Jordan wants to-
Making sure you're getting it on the record.
There's leap years.
That leap year is covered.
Watch something happen.
Is that correct?
Every
Leap year is
21.
covered. Thank you. It's on the
Awesome.
record. There you go. All right, Madam Clerk, you want to call the roll?
Counselor Gross.
Aye.
Counselor Grow.
Aye.
Counselor Kimberly.
Aye.
Counselor Majota.
Yes.
Counselor Memhard.
Aye.
Counselor Nolan.
Aye.
Counselor Page.
Aye.
Counselor Benson.
Aye.
Counselor Grace.
Aye.
Vote is 9 in favor, 0 opposed. The motion passes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for all.
Thank you for coming in under your allotted time. Next order of business, Madam Clerk.
Council vote, correction of referral of the petition to the City Council to accept and lay out a public way regarding Stillington Drive from P&D to BNF.
Oh, this is just a referral. It was referred to the wrong standing committee. So this is something that ordinarily would have been taken up in the consent agenda.
You need a motion?
Yes,
I'm going to move the referral of petition.
it's
to
right
the-
there, correct? That's right there.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay. Move to correct the referral for the petition to the City Council to accept and lay out a public way regarding Stillington Drive from P&D to BNF, and I so move.
Second. Sorry. No.
Second.
Motion, okay. Motion made by Councilor Gross, seconded by Councilor Majota. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next order of business, Madam Clerk.
Councilor's request to the mayor.
Okay, or discussion if they so move. Councilor Grow.
I've already submitted my request to the mayor. I'll pass them on to you, just so you know, about ones that I've asked and have worked with Dylan Benson on the senior vet tax work-off program. I hope that they consider that through the budgeting process. I think my brain went completely blank here. I'll just assume that all the rest of them are on there.
All set? Yeah. Councilor Kimberly.
I have no request.
Thank you. Councilor Majota.
You want to go? My request to the mayor, I sent 2 requests to the mayor's office this morning, and my request is if the mayor could look at previous requests and talk to, from the previous year, and talk to any of the ward councilors or councilor at large based on the request, so you can get information, if these issues have been resolved or not. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Memard.
I have no requests, and we'll look forward to seeing if we can resolve the matter of the Maslows on road was that?
Ratcliffe.
On Ratcliffe Street. That I've worked on that for 11 years now. So it's like many things that all counselors will come to appreciate. There's a lot of history around here, and what should be a simple answer isn't always what we might wish for.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Nolan.
I have nothing tonight. Thank you.
Councilor Page.
Yes, thank you. I recently attended the Council on Aging meeting, and I've been following the Open Space Committee meetings. Both of those committees have expressed concern for pedestrian safety and safety in general in the downtown. I'm wondering if the Community Impact Unit, if that's something within their mission, could work with those groups. I'd be happy to facilitate discussion of what might be looked at and what might be considered for pedestrian safety downtown. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Benson.
I have nothing this week. Thanks.
Councilor
I'll
Grace.
request to the mayor.
Comment and a request. First of all, I just wanted to say I'm looking forward to a productive 2-year with our new council that's here, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you. My request to the mayor is that if we could get some crosswalk signs installed on Maplewood Ave. Currently, there are none. Down by McDonald's and the car wash in that area, the crosswalks, in addition to no signage, you also can barely see them because the paint is so faded, so they need to be repainted. And if reflective paint is available, that would be helpful because there's no lighting near either of those crosswalks either. So we could use some swanky bright yellow signs and some new paint. It's a very heavily trafficked area, a lot of pedestrians, because of the businesses that are there, and the new housing that is there is going to only increase that. So it is kind of dangerous. I had a near miss the other night. Kind of freaked me
Thank you.
out.
Counselor Grow.
Was, the other one was the request that we get an up-to-date list of the vacancies on the various cities, boards, and commissions so that we can get those bodies filled and productive and working for the city of Gloucester.
Okay. And that is a wrap. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Grace, seconded by Counselor Page. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, 9-0. Thank you very much.
Very